What's going on, guys? Siege from Homebrew for Life, and today we are going to go over homebrew fermenters. I'm going to tell you the do's and the don'ts based off my personal experiences to help you navigate on your buying decisions. So you don't have to live in shame and end up like me. I've made a lot of decisions. I've burned a lot of money. If there's anybody that knows anything about buyer's remorse, it's this broad right here. Enough of the mumbo jumbo. Let's take our shirts off. Let's wrestle the first naked cop that we see. Fermenters, there's a lot on the market. Plastic, glass, stainless steel. We're talking about fermenters today, people. Price, conical, cleaning, racking. Conical means like the cone. Braking, mobility, gimmicks. And I promise you this, make it to the end of this video and you will know as much about homebrew fermenters as I do. Straight out of the gate, guys, what not to do. Do not buy glass. Do not buy glass fermenters. It's the worst fermenter to buy by so far. I could write a book on why I hate glass fermenters, but here's some of the bullet points. I mean, for starters, they're dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. We've all broken these. Donnie was telling me the other day that he sliced through his hand. You usually break them when they're full. I mean, when they're full, they're what, 40, 50, 60 pounds? So you just gave up your Saturday to brew. They've got no give, it's glass, it breaks, you're ruined. Now you've got to get stitched up, your place is a mess, and you just wasted a day. Whatever, your garage, your kitchen, your brew house, it's trashed. It's disgusting now. Avoid glass by any means. Reason number two, I hate glass, they're kind of pricey. I mean, they're for 5 or 6 gallon glass corny cake, they're like 50 bucks. And stick around, because in a little bit, I'm gonna teach you how to make my favorite fermenters for like $6 or $7. It's the exact opposite of what I'm talking about right now. Glass doesn't have handles, so you have to buy the straps. What's the strap, like another 12 bucks? So straight out of the gate, we're already at what, $60, $65? Well, now you gotta clean it and you can't take the lid off, so you have to have another brush. What's the brush? 10 bucks on Amazon? So we're already at 75 bucks, right straight off the gate for the worst fermenter, the most fragile thing. We've all got them. We all started homebrewing with them. They're sitting around our garages. We don't know what to do with them. You can't sell them, nobody wants it. What are you supposed to throw it away? It's a nice piece of glass. Put some flowers in it. There's no spigot. There's no spigot, so you have to rack. So we need another siphoning king. What's that, another 20 bucks? We're already at $100 for something that's the most inefficient and is without question the most fragile and dangerous. They're not conical at all. They're not even close to being anything close to conical. Here's a good rule of thumb for any brew house or workstation or blue collar garage or factory. Try to avoid glass as much as humanly possible. If you ever have the option to buy plastic, good plastic, food grade plastic over glass, do it every single time. Plastic, through and through. So easy to clean. Yeah, the lid comes off. Yes, plastic does scrape, but just don't use steel wool. Just don't use any metal and you won't scrape it so yeast can harbor. You don't even need to use steel wool if you have hot water, PBW, or OxyClean. Look at that, you can get it every nook and cranny without even thinking about it. Doesn't give you a headache. It's got a handle right here, look at that. You don't have to buy any strap, are you kidding me? Who's kidding who? The most affordable fermenters you will ever imagine. Look at the spigots right there. Look at the spigots right there, Braj. Look at that. If you Google plastic fermenter, call it like 6 gallon plastic fermenter with lid and spigot, they're probably gonna range from anywhere from 25 to like 60 bucks. But here's how I make them for $7. All right, Home Depot fam, the adult toys are us. Everybody knows about these orange Home Depot buckets, which I have no problem brewing with, but if you need that peace of mind, you head on down to aisle 14. Snag the white food grade buckets for almost the same price. Food grade bucket? Let's pair it with a food grade spigot. The bundle pack. I don't think Home Depot sells these, but even if they did, they'd still probably be cheaper on Amazon, which is where I buy mine. $4 bucket, $3 spigot. All right, Homebrew for Life, the inception of YouTube. A tutorial within a tutorial. Here's how to drill into plastic without cracking it so you don't get any leaks. Gotta get your drill bits dialed in, fam. Spade bits. You will have these forever unless you're a full-time construction worker. Get on that DeWalt train, fam, or else I just feel sorry for you. Step drill bit. Do not spend more than $10 on these. Brand name will be like $50 plus. The Amazon, the Harbor Freight one, shred. Shout out to you if you were subscribed to our channel. When we made the Kegel video, we used the same drill bit. That was almost a year ago. Time flies when you're being a barrage. All right, so 2 holes.
That's what she said.
One for the bung and the other for the spigot. Start out with your spade bits. Something small, we just need to drill a hole. It's gonna chip the shit out of the plastic. It's all good unless you drill too big of a hole. Once you have the small hole, switch to the step drill bit. Apply pressure lightly so you don't make the hole bigger than your bung. This drills a smooth, even hole into your plastic. Make sure the lid is on and press it from both sides. If there's action in your airlock, then your airlock is airtight. That's the best part about these buckets. They do not need gaskets. I have a 60-liter Spidle. It's huge and it's good for larger batches, but it's tougher to keep airtight and you do need a gasket, which I've already had to replace. It's got this weird black belt thing. It's been okay over the years. It's just really expensive. If I knew now what I knew then 3 or 4 years ago when I bought this for 10 plus gallon batches, I wouldn't have bought this. I would have just put them in 2 plastic fermenters, the ones that we're making right now, and just thrown yeast into each of the buckets. All right, now for the spigot. This is optional, but I do it every time. Cut this part down a little bit so the spigot isn't so high up in the bucket. And so it just fits even with the bottom of the bucket. Repeat the process. Spade bit, create the hole. Step drill bit to get that smooth, wide spigot hole. No leaks. Plastic has way more give than metal. In my experience, metal leaks way more. It just doesn't have the give like plastic does. Couple pointers. Use 3-piece airlocks, not the S ones if you plan on using your bucket handle, which you're going to be using every time. The 3-piece airlocks are smaller so you could move the bucket around without hitting your airlock. I never really throw the buckets away. There's kind of like this life cycle with these buckets in my garage/brew house. They always start as fermenters and then switch to grain buckets, and then somehow I lose them, give them away, or they turn into coolers. And then sometimes after that, when they kind of get weathered, they'll just become mop buckets. And then eventually they just turn into trash and recycling.
And that's all I have to say about that.
All right, stainless steel fermenters. Stainless steel conical and plastic ferment. You know what? I'm already weeding out the plastic fermenters. We're done with plastic. The eye candy. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really know. I only have one, and I recently got it. I've always just used plastic. Stainless steel fermenters were always way too expensive for me, and they weren't mandatory, so I felt the need not to have one. I've never had one over these last 5-6 years. It's crazy. But they are gorgeous, and they have them at pretty much every price point these days. I've been around a ton of homebrewers that do have them, and noticed a very love or hate relationship. Ultimately coming down to if you overpaid and you have buyer's remorse. But here's mine. I love mine. The Anvil 7.5 gallon stainless steel bucket fermenter. Incredibly easy to assemble. The spigot takes like 10 seconds to connect and set up. Embossed level markings, so you always know your quantities. It's huge. That's a huge thing. Rotating racking arm. It's got handles so you can just pick it up. There's fermenters out there with legs and wheels at the bottom, and they don't do anything except jack up the price. We can all lift 5 gallons up. But the biggest factor by far is the price tag, $130. Stainless steel is stainless steel. It's not like some huffy metal piece of shit versus some Lance Armstrong poly titanium metal. It's not. It's stainless steel. It is conical, kind of conical. Conical is very subjective in the homebrewing world. Obviously, every fermenter in the commercial world is conical, but it's kind of your call in the homebrewing world. As far as beer clarity goes and less sediment, I cut an inch off my Corny Cakes dip tube, so I'm already good in that department. Are you reusing yeast all the time? I'm not. I'll keep some Cali 001 in the fridge, but usually we're only brewing once or twice a month, and it's a completely different yeast. London Fog. Commercial breweries are reusing yeast all day, generation after generation. You would have to. Every brewery would be out of business if they had to buy the small little yeast packet things that we buy. Conical fermenters, do they reduce oxidation or infection? I don't think so at all, and I think that comes down to the brewer. Does it make better homebrew? Does stainless steel conical ferment does it make better homebrew? Do stainless steel conical fermenters make better homebrew? Again, I think it comes down to the brewer. Like if you took a batch, same recipe, and put it in a plastic fermenter and then a $500 stainless steel conical fermenter, and it both had temperature control, would you taste better beer? I don't know. I would guess no, as long as the plastic fermenter brewer knew what he was doing. Do they look sexy? Oh yeah. Oh yes. Do some of them just have amazing engineering and it completes your garage? Oh yeah, absolutely. Can a Camry get you to work? Yeah, but it's not a Lexus. A huge factor, do they have resale value? Light years more than plastic. Yes, to answer your question, absolutely. I would never buy used plastic or sell used plastic. It wouldn't be worth anything. Stainless steel fermenter, you could probably drop it and nothing would happen. Maybe a dent. You'd probably get away with anything though. Plastic probably would break. Probably would break. Glass, we're done talking about glass. We're done talking about glass. Will it last forever? Yeah. Yeah, it's stainless steel. It's going to last forever. And any product that lasts forever, well, that's a good product. So here's the debate, which one to buy. And I think it's just completely subjective. Well, then again, all of this is completely subjective. It's just some shithead, man. Some of these are expensive. I already have a DIY temp control system, so I don't have to worry about that. Obviously, that's a factor. Maybe it's not a factor. Maybe you don't even need temp control. Maybe you have a basement or a wine cellar. You can just put your stuff down there. Well, that will save you few $100. Again, it's just subjective. I know somebody who's bought a $700 Grainfather fermenter and they hated it. They said it wasn't worth the price at all. They said for $700, it should come with a glycol chiller. But then I've talked to people that bought SS Brewtech Chronicles and they absolutely loved them. Love them to death. So to anybody who's got conical stainless steel fermenters, I love my Anvil. I brewed with it 2 or 3 times, zero problems at all. It's gonna last me a lifetime. $130. $130. What we talked about earlier, our glass being $100, the plastic one that I bought for $100, stainless steel, that's gonna last me a lifetime, even though I might have to maybe replace the gasket every couple of years. Don't have a problem with that. $130. Best buy on the market. Does it look as pretty as some of these other RoboCop looking ones? No. Do I care? Not at all. So to anybody with conical fermenters, let us know in the comments section if you're stoked off your purchase.